Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we have this super full moon that is bringing us an intense, a potent energy, a fiery energy. It's coming in the zodiac sign of Aries. And it's called a supermoon because the moon is near its closest approach to the earth. So usually we see it as it appears a little bit bigger, we may sense it a little bit strongly, and this one may deeply affect us on our well-being in an empowering and enthusiastic way, but may also make us wonder if we're still on the right path according to how we want to live, or if we would like to make some updates in any area that requires them the most. And this is really interesting because when it comes to our awareness of what may feel purposeful to us, we may be wandering in this area, we may be wandering in the area of who we think we are and how much we are actually in tune with the actual sensation of who we truthfully are. Like, what is our truth, who we truly are, rather than just playing a certain identity. We may think deeply about how much we are really trusting the divine timing, the time of events that take place when everything aligns, how much we are trusting this process. We may be wondering how much we are taking empowered action towards what is important to us, towards the destination that really calls us to go. How much we are acknowledging what we feel right now, how much we are acknowledging this negative thinking patterns that may be running in our minds every time we start thinking outside of the box, like what else could we do? And we may remind ourselves that the real risk lies in riskless living, which means that most of the time we are spending too much of our thinking and being in the comfort zone. And Aries is reminding us of the independence, of the courage, of being more energetic, raising your energy by doing more things that spark love within your heart, joy and passion within your heart. It vibrates in this passionate energy and is truly waking you up to a greater sense of who you truly are. Plato once said really wisely, he said, courage is knowing what not to be afraid. And it really takes us on a quest of deep thinking, like what truly I shouldn't be afraid. And when it comes to my growth, when it comes to my evolution, when it comes to what I want to do, that's where I should reflect the most on my fears. So the first reminder I gave you, a sense of purpose, a sense that makes you want to do something for others, to stretch your mind into a deeper knowing of who your dreams want you to be. Oliver Wendell Holmes once said so wonderfully, he said, a mind once stretched by a new idea can never return to its original dimension, right? And it means that once we recognize who we need to become to experience a life we want to live, we will get a new insight, we'll get a new inspiration, we'll get maybe a sense of knowledge, a sense of wisdom, a sense of just this clear knowing what we have to do. And I'm sure you may feel more pushed towards this kind of thinking right now, or you may already feel, or you've already started doing something in this direction. You're already moving towards it. If yes, I'm so happy for you. I'm really celebrating you because I know how good it feels. I did that back at 2017, and since then I'm doing it every single day. So I know how well it feels. But when we look around us, not many people are doing that. So once we get to that level where we just saying, so every single day I'm living purposefully, I'm driven by purpose, by this sense that makes you want to do something for others because you're so full of life. When you get to that level, you start wondering how many people may need some inspiration to do something similar. So you really start wondering how to embody more of what philosophy and spirituality is all about, how to kind of transform it from a concept into being. And that's where we really start walking the talk. And Aries is all about reminding us to walk the talk. What you've learned, what you know, ask yourself, are you really doing that? Are you really walking that? Are you really putting it into action? Are you building habits out of it? So the things that gives you a sense of great life may become more natural, more automatic for you. And sure, we become aware then of how we are living our lives and what is kind of pulling us away from those sensations, like what is not feeding that inner fire, because we all have a fire within. And we just need to pay attention to what puts wood onto that fire and what kind of takes it out. Like what kind of food, what kind of behaviors, what kind of words are like food for this fire, so we can nurture it. In alchemy, there's a saying that you have to make a transformation from a dead stone to a philosopher's stone. You're still a stone, you're still, a physical body here in this dimension. But what happens, you become alive, you become acknowledged, you become wiser, and you start walking your talk. You put knowledge into action, and you become like what's in alchemy called as philosopher's stone, the master of this dimension. And of course it takes time. That's why Aries is reminding us of importance of being patient, while there's a thing we call divine timing. And some would call it destiny, because there are things that are meant to happen, especially when we align our energy with it. Like I feel I never thought I will be doing what I'm doing now, but events in my life through synchronicities turned into what I'm doing now. My dream was always to become a professional athlete. I'm coming from extreme sports, freestyle mountain biking, and for half of my life that was all I was doing, all I was thinking, all I was focusing on, all I was reading about. My mind was deeply invested into the sports. But at some point, life started navigating me into this direction that I'm walking now. And it's just interesting how this part that we may call as destiny, as something that is written in the stars, that will happen when we are ready, it just starts taking place. And it firstly calls us through our intuition, and we experience a sense of calling. We experience this sensation that we just need to do something. We feel like how we used to live doesn't resonate with us anymore. People we used to hang with doesn't spark that connection anymore. Like we don't feel aligned anymore the way maybe we used to. And it may happen with your family, it may happen with your friends and so on, that. And you start to sense like you have to do some things differently, and you start investigating the sensations. Aries is all about investigation of that, so you can tap deeper into this passion for growth, enthusiasm for taking those brave steps, right? To make some brave steps towards where you really want to be. And you need courage for that. And as Plato wisely said, courage is knowing what not to be afraid of, as I mentioned before. This is really interesting, right? When you start wondering, okay, what would make me feel courageous? How could I demonstrate more of it in my life? Like, what would make me feel courageous? Is it courageous when you stand up for yourself and you express your truth at the times of need? Like when you feel that somebody is disrespecting you and you stand up strong and you express your truth? Does it make you feel courageous? Does it make you feel courageous when a dream calls you, like you want to become an artist, or you want to become an entrepreneur, or you want to help someone in need, and you actually manage your life the way that you start doing more of that? Does it make you feel courageous? Because if yes, those are the things life is calling you to do. And you have to make some empowered actions towards your desires. So think about it. What I would encourage you to do right now with this fiery energy is to take a piece of paper and write down a list of the things that would make you feel courageous. The list of the things that would improve your life, that would transform your life, in a sense that you would become more courageous, because you have to become more courageous. There are virtues ancient philosophers were living by. And the first one was courage, the second one was wisdom, the third one was moderation, and the fourth one was justice. If you embody these four virtues, and virtues are like good habits, if you work on that, and I'm sure as I'm reflecting on my life every single year, I understand more deeply what it truly means, what wisdom means, what courage means, what justice means, and what moderation means. So we are constantly upgrading our understanding of these habits. And while we're upgrading this understanding, we are noticing that the only way to grow is to expose ourselves to the things once we thought they're hard. And like I mentioned before, the real risk lies in riskless living. We recognize that truly sometimes we may miss the most great things if we don't take any risks in our lives. We have to stretch ourselves. And there's actually psychologists usually use this term of a rubber band effect, which reminds us that we only grow as much as we are stretching ourselves to grow. When you say, I'm not a good speaker, or you say, I'm not a good, or I'm not as talented as somebody else in this craft, it only means that you haven't tried it enough yet. You haven't practiced enough yet. And practicing is stretching yourself out of the comfort so we can recognize what kind of talents you actually have. Because I had no idea when I was younger that I can actually paint. I had no idea that I can actually express myself through voice. I was always the quiet one. I don't want to talk much actually, because most people are talking about meaningless things, so most of the time I was quiet. But I always talk when I have something to say. So we have to recognize what are hidden abilities that we have. So we have to acknowledge what we feel to do more of what feels right. We have to acknowledge what we feel. And the Aries again is reminding you to pay more attention to what you feel right now, to what you feel wholly, not just what you think, not just what you may feel at this moment emotionally because something happened to you or somebody said something to you, but what you feel maybe beneath that. Is there a sense of a certain need? Like you need maybe more space, maybe you need more peace, maybe you need more adventure, maybe you need some adrenaline in your life, maybe you need some more joy, maybe you need more connection, or maybe you need more providing, like you want to provide more. Sometimes, you know, what I've learned, sometimes people really like to talk a lot. And those are people who actually just need listeners. And if you would give those people a microphone and a certain topic they're really passionate about, they could express a whole audiobook in one flow. So if they would recognize the potential that they have, like why they love to talk so much, they could actually invest this potential in something that would be more beneficial than just talking about something meaningless. So we just need to recognize why we are like that, why we feel like that, why we are so enthusiastic about certain things. So we start investigating it. Is there anyone who's maybe really good at it already and I could learn from that person? Is there someone who's a master of it and he or she could actually become my mentor, my teacher, my guide? so I can learn from those who are above me. It's not about competition, it's about collaboration, right? That's the new level of thinking. So Aries is reminding you to move on, to use your sense of independence and empower yourself, because you've come here at the first place with a mission to be yourself, to express yourself, to show to others what independence truly means. Not following others because you're too scared of doing what's right, but actually doing what's right so others may be inspired by your sense of righteousness, by your ability to walk independently, even if it feels lonely at the beginning. Usually it is, because it's a testing phase. When the universe is testing you, are you brave enough? Are you strong enough? Are you trusting enough? Can you believe into yourself enough to move through that phase of loneliness? During the phase of loneliness, you will have a lot of time to talk to yourself, to think deeply, to think clearly, to reflect on who you feel that you are, who you truly are, and how much you're demonstrating that, right? So you can start doing more of it, and your life will follow that. Your life will start changing as you're changing. And when more and more people start doing that, and I can see many people are already doing that, that's why the world is changing. We just have to follow this inner knowing. So we go from following others to following ourselves, and that's what Aries energy is all about. That's why it is so passionate. That's why it feels like you just have to follow your mission, whatever feels like that. And even if your mission right now is just to recharge your batteries or to heal certain wound that may be invisible in your heart, that's your mission right now. Do it with all your heart, right? Take a lot of time with that and do whatever you feel that you have to do so you can get back stronger, and then do again what you feel that you have to do. Know that whatever feels like a mission to you right now, mission is just something that becomes so important to us that we put all of ourselves into it. And if it's healing, do it with all your heart. If it's a certain help that you provide to someone in need, do it with all your heart. If it's a certain business idea that may be valuable and really helpful for others, do it with all your heart. If it's an art project, do it with all your heart. And that's what a sense of mission truly means. And this is the energy right now. So in any area that you may feel that requires an update, reflect on those things, meditate a little bit, and your body will tell you everything you know. You have this inner intelligence that is constantly guiding you through life. And if you really, through action, learn to trust to that inner intelligence, it will always take you to the places that you were meant to visit. So move from your mind into your heart and you will see the magic. It's just, it's hard to put it into words, and it's hard to make someone believe into those things. You just have to feel that you have to do it. And when you feel like you have to do it, then you truly need to do it. You really need to follow that. And you will go maybe through some hard things. Maybe you will be challenged by life. But eventually we all learn, and you've all already learned that all challenges are just making us or uncovering us more of who we truly are, so we can embody more of the essence of who we are. And that's something that truly makes our life special. That's where we become a philosopher's stone. From feeling partially alive or even almost dead, like a zombie, to being fully alive, to embodying light and becoming love of the extension of whatever gives love to us. and we just become this magnificent embodiment of that. So I hope you found something valuable today, my friends. I'm sending you all lots of love, blessings, and power. Thank you so much for supporting my art in our Etsy shop. I Draw My Passion. You're all truly appreciated. With that, you are supporting this mission, so thank you so much. I love you all. Until next time, one love.